All right, you want me to start it?
Yes, you always start
As always.
You always
You know what I'm
start
talking about. Silence my phone.
Put it on the do not disturb.
A girl called me cute last night.
Whoa!
She went to church camp.
Whoa! Hey, yo!
Keep that one between us two.
I'm leaving that in.
Okay, I don't want Dalen seeing this. As long as Dalen doesn't.
Does he watch our stuff? Is he our biggest fan?
I put my left nut on it. He doesn't watch this.
All right.
Welcome to Ring Talk. Magic Tyler, Caysen Smith, and we are here after week 2 of Uncle Howdy's return.
Yeah.
So we are recording this on a Friday. That means that
no SmackDown
will not be involved.
We will hit on it the next week.
We will. We won't forget about it. We'll just talk about both weeks, you know. We'll talk about that SmackDown first probably, and then the Raw, and then
so on and so forth.
But yeah, we have Raw, we have NXT, and speaking of NXT, we'll see more of that later in our top 10.
Mm-hmm.
And we got our match reviews. We also have a little punishment.
Ooh, finally getting that punishment in.
Yep.
And here's what I'm gonna do, because I'm gonna make the video. People on YouTube, make them feel a little special. People on the socials, make them feel a little special.
Okay.
Audio people, you're gonna have to go to the YouTube to watch the punishment.
That's okay.
So it's gonna cut off, but for YouTube, it's gonna go on a little bit longer.
Yep. Well,
it is what it is.
Do you want to have it like at the beginning or at the end?
No, we're gonna have punishment at the end. We'll do the punishment.
But do you want to like put it towards the beginning so we have like a good start, like a cut it into the beginning, or do you want to like?
No, I think we should keep it at the end.
Okay.
Because I think you had a good. You started us off well.
You know what? I think it will make them want to listen to this even longer. They'll be worth it in the end. You know how like WrestleMania, you have to like watch all the matches to get to the main event.
Yeah.
You have to watch all this to get to the main event.
Punishment's the main event.
The punishment is the main event.
But when it comes to every show, you got a main event. You got to have an opener.
That's right.
And that kicks us off with Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw.
Woo! Raw kicks off Drew McIntyre coming out.
Yep.
Post just whooping up on CM Punk on SmackDown.
Yeah,
he's got the bracelet on. He takes a dig at his wife AJ Lee.
That's right.
And his dog Larry. The crowd even started chanting Larry.
Yeah, man. You don't mess with Larry, man. You don't mess with
Larry. Called him a stupid looking dog.
He's not a stupid looking dog. No dogs are that stupid looking, except for a few.
No. But I mean, Drew McIntyre, it was just him. No one else came out. CM Punk didn't come out. No Damian Priest, no whoever came out.
That's right.
It was just him.
Yeah.
And he killed it. I mean, he claimed that he was going to go to Money in the Bank. And he was going to win the briefcase and then go on to become world champion.
Takeaway from that.
Mm-hmm. And we see later on in the show where he goes up to Adam Pearce and basically says, "You should just already put me in the match. I shouldn't have to qualify." Adam Pearce is like, no, that's not how it works. You're going to qualify. You're going to have a match the next week.
Yep. Who was in that match? I'm pretty sure it's him.
I don't remember off the top of my head.
I don't remember the other two.
But we all I feel pretty confident Drew McIntyre is going to pull out the W.
Yeah. And then CM Punk is probably going to cost him the last.
And then I'm thinking Money in the Bank, CM Punk's going to cost him again.
Yep.
And then we're on the fast track to SummerSlam.
And then we got SummerSlam, which will finally get this match.
Mm-hmm. We hope. We feel confident.
I'm sure that CM Punk will be cleared.
You think he's going to be cleared?
I think he'll be cleared by then.
I feel confident as well.
But yeah, what's after that? It's
Chad Gable arrived after the beatdown. We find out he's alive. He's not dead.
He comes out of the limo with like all these like guards and bodyguards and stuff.
Yeah.
So
he's got a little mark on his head.
Yeah, which is where the cut was.
Where he got shot in the head.
But we could definitely tell that he's like shook from it.
Yeah,
he's scared. You know?
And throughout the show, they're trying to get interviews. Like Kathy Kelly's trying to get an interview with him, and he's not having it. He's like, nope. I don't want to talk to anybody. Just want to be left alone and have to worry. He just wants to focus on his match that he has later on the night.
Yeah. I do want to point out that Pat McAfee was not the show.
Was not the show. We got The Miz.
We found out why he wasn't at the show.
Yes,
nothing like story-wise.
Nothing storyline related. Unfortunately, his father-in-law passed away, which thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family.
Quick thinking to get the Miz on there.
Yes,
I feel like that added a lot more to R-Truth accepting the
I like,
match.
especially with Miz, just like, what? Jumping out of the chair and
Running
just
through crowd.
sprinting.
Yeah.
So, it was good.
So then it's Michael Cole for the rest of the
Yeah,
night.
Michael Cole
To be fair, he could,
single-handedly called the whole show for the most part.
to be fair, I feel like he could just do that if he wanted to, but we need more voices.
We love Pat McAfee.
Yeah, of course.
First match of the night, Braun Breaker versus Ludwig Kaiser.
That's right.
Sheamus gets
The
involved,
match ends with Sheamus
taking
getting
out
involved.
Ludwig Kaiser, causing a disqualification.
Braun Breaker spears Sheamus as Sheamus tries
Yeah.
to put him through the table. Braun Breaker's like, you don't get involved in my business.
He says
my matches.
And everybody's getting involved in his matches.
Of course.
Ludwig's getting involved when he's wrestling Sheamus. Sheamus is getting involved when Breaker's wrestling Kaiser.
That's right.
He's like,
I do
leave.
want to point out we haven't seen Dragunov at all this show.
That's true.
Hopefully we get to see more of him. I hope they don't just throw him out the window.
I mean, I see. So if I'm correct, Bash in Berlin is after SummerSlam.
Yeah.
I think.
I'm sure he'll be there for that.
And if Gunther wins the world title at SummerSlam, that would be a great match because Gunther's almost going to be the favorite because he's from Austria and it's very close to Germany.
Yeah.
So I think you want just a banger match for that show.
Dragunov.
What better off than Ilya Dragunov?
Yeah, I think we already talked about this a tiny bit before, but I feel like Seth Rollins is going to lose the title match because of some sort of interference.
I'm saying Wyatt 6.
We say Wyatt 6 because
I'm
that would
calling
be a
it right
great
now.
first rivalry for Uncle Howdy.
Especially for SummerSlam, first match.
I feel like the build up to SummerSlam will be just like Uncle Howdy, like giving those like videos or whatever it is. Maybe attacking people, like defenseless people that won't cause a big rivalry.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe just cause like panic throughout the locker room, backstage.
Yeah, kind of that stuff. But we get to see one of the members tonight. We get to see
Nikki Cross
come out after Chad Gable's big win against. I do want to point out Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman.
Two big men.
And
Big
Chad
old
Gable
boys.
didn't like win it from like a little
He's picking up
roll-up
like
pin or anything. He
Bronson
picked
Reed.
up Bronson Reed and suplexed him.
Big
win.
Another
Big win.
big story throughout the show is obviously Liv Morgan, Judgment Day, Dominic Mysterio. Priest tells Dominic, just end it with Liv. They're backstage, and we find out that Dominic's got like this big tray of chicken nuggets he's got, and he's got the PlayStation set up, and they're playing 2K.
He gets a picture.
Look at all what... Yeah, and he gets a... We'll let you guys figure out what was on that picture.
Everyone was going.
I love Carlito. That's cool. Dude, Carlito is... putting him with the Judgment Day was the best idea. Because he's killing it. He's so funny.
He's doing good with it. I like how even though he's like still heel Carlito.
He's funny. He's killing it. I'm very much enjoying Carlito right now.
Yeah. I'm enjoying all the Judgment Day right now and all their business.
Money in the Bank qualifier, women's. We got Lyra Valkyria, Kairi Sane, and Shayna Baszler.
Yeah. I feel like we all knew who was going to
Valkyria, again, they are pushing her to the moon.
I feel like it's either going to be her or Tiffany Stratton that gets the briefcase.
Briefcase? It's possible.
But I heard some rumors as well about Chelsea Green.
Chelsea Green, that would be
briefcase, which would be crazy.
You know how Chelsea Green has grown on me in the last year.
I could see it, but
yeah.
I feel like we have better options. But I wouldn't be mad.
I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah, I feel like how like Otis won the title and like how like the briefcase like fell and he just grabbed it.
Caught it. You could see that happen with Chelsea Green. She just catches it. Yeah. Or it falls on the ground and she just jumps on it.
She's just like knocked down and it falls on the ground. She just crawls to it or whatever.
Yeah.
Or it just like lands on her
What if it like she gets like knocked out somehow? It lands and she just kind of like rolls over and just puts her arm over it.
I can see it.
That'd be a dope finish. But, Adam Pearce, we go backstage and we find Adam Pearce with Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
And he makes it official for Money in the Bank. Braun Breaker, Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship.
Which, hype. Just want to point that out. I feel like that match can go either way.
Yeah.
Whoever wins.
I'm getting the feeling it's going to be kind of like the Chad Gable situation where this rivalry between them isn't going to end at Money in the Bank. I think it's going to carry over to SummerSlam.
I think so as
and
well.
I see maybe a fatal four-way coming up between Sami Zayn, Braun Breaker, Ludwig Kaiser, and Sheamus.
I like how they're pushing Ludwig as a singles.
Dude, they've been giving him so much time. While Gunther's been kind of worrying about, and they haven't really been using Gunther a whole lot. We see him a little bit later in the show, but they're really kind of saving him for SummerSlam.
Definitely.
But this has given Ludwig so much time to show his stuff.
I feel we'll go ahead and talk about Gunther's arrival. We have Seth Rollins, Damian Priest, one-on-one in the ring, talking to each other. And then after they're all talking and stuff, Gunther comes in. He's like...
Basically just reminding them that whoever wins is facing them at SummerSlam.
He says, I'm ready to see this match. I'm hyped to see this. I can't wait. This is going to be a great match. And he's like, but it's not going to matter because I'm winning.
Because I'm winning the title at SummerSlam.
Yeah. But
Liv Morgan also has a promo. She comes out and is interrupted by Zelina Vega.
Which was...
Now, Zelina Vega, in my opinion, insanely underrated.
I can see that, yeah.
First ever Queen of the Ring winner.
That's true. Good point. Queen Celine.
I could see her one day becoming champion soon. And she's getting her shot next week.
That's right.
Monday she's getting a women's world title match against Liv Morgan.
Which I'm pretty sure we'll all see some sort of Judgment Day interference.
Maybe Dominic, maybe Finn.
I feel like it could be Finn or JD because and speaking of that, the main event, the title match.
Yeah.
She gives JD and Finn the win. And they're like giving her dirty looks at first, and then they remembered she was the reason they won.
Yeah.
All three of them were just holding titles up.
Maybe she's officially in the Judgment Day.
Maybe that's like a little like nod to like, okay, you're cool now.
Yeah. During the Liv promo, we do see Rey Mysterio come out.
That's right.
And try and break up the fight between the two women. Dominic Mysterio is also there because he had tried to convince Liv that he was, we can't do this. We're done.
Mm-hmm. Which
Liv wasn't having it. She's like, no. But we do find out that along with the women's world title match on Monday, we're also getting a WrestleMania rematch between Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio.
Hype. Just
Bring
hype.
it on.
Hype. I feel like it's really leading up to Damian Priest getting betrayed by Judgment Day. Mm-hmm. It's really close.
Yeah.
Money in the Bank, I'm calling it.
Chad Gable wins his triple threat match.
Yep.
And after that is when we see Nikki Cross.
Yeah.
And did you notice when he's doing his entrance how there was like the glitch?
You can see the glitches going on like the screens, and he was like looking around. He was worried.
He was worried. And then we see Nikki Cross come out at the end of the match.
We'll talk about. So she go ahead and she like gives this like box.
We find out it's a VHS.
It's supposed to go to McAfee, but it wasn't there, so they gave it to Michael.
The note was dedicated to Pat McAfee, which I thought was very interesting. That it was meant for Pat McAfee,
especially since we saw like the glitches during his show and podcasts and stuff.
But Michael Cole takes it and he makes the joke. He's like, guys, this is what we call a VHS.
For the younger audience, this is a VHS.
Yeah, and he's like, well, we gotta go try and find something that'll play this, so we're gonna send this to the production truck.
Before we talk about the VHS tape, we forgot one thing. Chad Gable goes in the locker room and he's like,
first he goes to Alpha Academy
and he's like, I'm
begs
sorry.
Him he's like, it's like a girlfriend trying to go to her boyfriend to take her back.
Yeah,
he's like, I'm sorry, it was my fault, I messed up.
I was wrong for the things I've done. At least we saw an apology, but Otis was not happy.
He's like, I appreciate it. And all of them were like, we're glad you're okay. Otis is like, we're done.
Yeah.
I told you we're done.
Mm-hmm.
Maxine, he turns around.
The Creed brothers.
Did you hear the crowd go, oh?
Yeah.
Because everybody's looking forward to it. Creed brothers and Ivy Nile. So it's looking like Chad Gable's looking to replace all of Alpha Academy.
That was one of the biggest takeaways.
From the night?
From the night.
I really if you look at all of Raw, especially this last Monday, Chad Gable had quite a bit of screen time.
Yeah.
He had at least a fourth of the screen time, close to half.
I'm loving it.
He was getting backstage segments. Everybody was talking about him. His match, he killed his match. Then he had this backstage segment with Alpha Academy and Creed Brothers.
Here's my WWE hot take right now. Chad Gable is more relevant than Cody Rhodes.
Whoa!
He's more relevant. Cody is he's just out of the picture right now. We don't care about him. We all know he's going to keep that title until
Mania.
Until The Rock
comes back, and dare I say, makes Cody Rhodes relevant.
That's what I'm saying. Like, of course, we're gonna get the Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes match.
That's coming up, and that's gonna be cool.
But we all know Cody's gonna win that.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope Randy wins because I'd rather see Cody fight The Rock without the title.
So it makes it a bit more mystery of who's gonna win.
Yeah.
Another match that happened tonight is a women's tag match between Katana Chance and Kaden Carter versus the new women's world tag team champions, or just the new women's tag team champions, Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. Dawn and Fire pick up the W. It was action-packed back and forth. Then Damage Control comes out and takes out both women. And it's looking like they're coming after the tag titles soon.
Yeah.
They're looking to bring those titles back into Damage Control.
I could see it happening.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see if like maybe people in SmackDown go for it.
Priest eventually sees Liv leave the Judgment Day locker room. He goes in expecting to see Dominic. Who does he find? He finds Finn Balor.
Finn Balor. Caught red-handed. Red-handed. But Finn's like, oh, come on, man. You know I wouldn't do that or anything like that. But I feel like tonight the main event says otherwise.
Main event says otherwise. It's looking like if I was just an ordinary fan, this is my first time watching Raw, I would think Liv Morgan's in the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
How much he's helping him out. Another match, Kofi Kingston versus Karrion Kross.
That's right.
Big win for Karrion Kross. Big singles win.
I do want to point out, wasn't fair and square, though. It was not fair and square.
Are things breaking down in the New Day?
I can see it happening. Gosh. I want to deny it. But I want to say no.
I truly believe the only way that Xavier Woods is going to get a good, solid singles run he's got to break out on his own.
Yeah.
And maybe a heel turn is what it takes. Look at Chad Gable.
I feel like...
We told you that's what he needed.
I feel like a heel turn and then we get a rivalry between Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. That would go hard. Mm-hmm. It would go hard. I'd love to see like their new personas.
I would love to see them to kind of... That gives you a chance maybe to bring in Big E. Maybe not a competitor form, but just like storyline form.
I could definitely see it.
That'd be dope.
But yeah, we'll see what goes on there.
So let's go to the main event real quick. Again, World Tag Team titles. R-Truth and The Miz versus Judgment Day, Finn Balor, JD. R-Truth did this because he felt like it was out of love. He felt like he was mentioning all these like old rom-com movies from like the 80s. So Liv kind of played with his head and eventually drops him on the ropes and cost him the tag titles. You're excited because you are kind of... You felt like it was starting to get old or getting overplayed.
Yeah. We haven't really seen much like rivalries between them or anything. And I feel like it was
I could see them maybe having a rematch at like Money in the Bank.
Yeah. I can definitely see something going on more with Miz and R-Truth. I don't think it's over yet.
Yeah.
But...
Finally,
we also get to see Braun Strowman running around.
Yeah, Braun
chasing.
Strowman.
It's kind of repetitive now with Braun Strowman just chasing him everywhere. I even like watched like a video about a podcast and Braun was like staying in character and stuff. He's like, yeah, it's always tiring just chasing after him. And I'm like, which is why you need to do something else. We don't care anymore.
Well, a possibility of something he could do later on, maybe this year, something to do with the Wyatt Six, and that brings us to the VHS.
The big VHS. I'm loving that we're seeing more videos played that hype him up. So
they found a VHS player.
Starts off showing off Uncle Howdy himself, sitting there.
We don't know who he's talking to.
Asking questions, and then it zooms over
to
the other side.
It's very weird. It's almost like Uncle Howdy's like the way he speaks and the speed that he speaks, very different from Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt, he wasn't talking so fast almost.
He was more calm, I feel like.
Bray Wyatt,
he was steady pace.
Slow and more creepy. Uncle Howdy's case, it was a little bit more creepy. He was talking like a therapist.
It was creepy but fast.
Yeah, he was talking like a therapist.
Yeah, which is why we get to see the therapist of like that one therapist in those VHS tapes. You remember her? Maybe he like got it from her or something. I don't know. But we get to see who he was asking the questions to. And Bo Dallas.
Bo Dallas, or was it Taylor Wyndham is his real name?
I don't know what he's going to go by.
But we can call him Bo Dallas as of right now.
The big question out of all the questions he asks is, How did you feel when your brother died?
Dude, they're blurring the lines of reality and fiction,
Which is
what makes great storytelling in the
it's
WWE.
deep. We get to see a really deep answer from Wyndham.
Because it's honest.
Yeah.
I honestly believe that he's saying what he means.
It's exactly what he said in the documentary. And
he's not at that point. He's not playing a character.
I do
He's
also
being
want to
himself.
point out that this interview is going on in the Firefly Funhouse. You
can see it in the background.
So maybe this is like an interview going on in his mind. Mm-hmm. So not even like the room that he's in not even like the interview itself is imaginary. The place he is in is imaginary.
Yeah.
I feel like this is genius. It's genius. It's showing us that there's a split personality thing.
And I see this being a common theme.
Yeah.
For maybe the next couple more weeks or so.
We like see Bray Wyatt as like inner voices of the Fiend. And this is like Bo's alternation of that as well. I also do want to point out that every single question asked by Uncle Howdy started with "How did?" And there's like a Twitter post or something. I think it was from the Wyatt Six, like official Twitter. And it had like all these like questions, like start off how'd your brother die, and then it kept like getting shorter and shorter and shorter. Then it ended off with howdy. So it's like every question is
how did,
which I thought was a pretty cool like
creative little deal.
Creative figurative language. I don't know if that's figurative. Whatever it is, it's sick though. I like it.
But that's all of Raw.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think of Raw as a whole?
It was not as like impactful as last week.
Mm-hmm. Nothing was going to top last week.
Yeah. But it was still a lot of stuff in there. Like, it's something you couldn't have missed.
It set up some stuff with Drew going into Money in the Bank. It furthered a bit with Chad Gable. We see him get introduced to the Creed brothers, so they're foreshadowing that.
Great show.
Judgment Day, they're just in chaos. It's... Oh, and we forgot to mention, Damian Priest said something. Was it with his promo with Seth Rollins? Where he said the Judgment Day needs him.
That's right.
More than he needs the Judgment Day.
That, yeah.
Which I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, if you didn't think they were starting to set up Damian Priest leaving the Judgment Day,
they are
now. Because that was like, ooh.
Now, is the question going to be they're going to betray him or he's just going to leave? He's going to be like, I can't take this anymore and just leave.
I don't know.
Maybe be like loyal to Rhea Ripley.
I see Rhea Ripley coming back and being on Damian Priest's side.
Yeah,
going up against Liv Morgan and the rest of the Judgment Day. Maybe Liv Morgan and Finn Balor, Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, and then Dominic's like in the middle. He's like split. He doesn't know.
That's a good one.
Booking it right now.
Battle of the Mommies.
Battle of the Mommies.
Whoever wins is Dom's real mommy.
Real mommy, dude.
Except from...
You know what it should be? It should be like so if they do like a battle for Dominic, like Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley.
Custody of Dominic.
But what they should do is they should put Dominic. You may remember that they did this with Chris Jericho years ago once.
Okay.
Put him in a cage and have him be hanging above. Do you remember they did this with Chris Jericho? There was like because it was when he was with Kevin Owens and he was doing the list. Do you remember this? They should do that with Dominic. Put him in a cage, lift him up in the air, and just have them. And the winner gets Dominic.
Dude, that was one of my favorite like storylines of all time. Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho.
And Chris Jericho with the list.
The list. You just made the list.
You just made the list.
We need to have our own list.
Wouldn't that be a good idea?
It'd be hilarious.
Bro, that'd be hilarious.
I'd love it.
I would laugh.
We should be employed to WWE.
Dude, that's so funny. But Raw was very good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. We're going to move on to NXT.
NXT, to kick off the night, it is the number one contender tag team turmoil match.
Yeah.
So you started off with Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne against Idris Enoff and Malik Blade. Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne eliminate them. Then comes in Legado del Fantasma.
Yeah.
Apollo Crews gets involved, causes them the match. Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate eliminate Legado del Fantasma. In comes the OC. They then eliminate the OC. So Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne are going coast to coast.
They're going off.
In comes Chase U. In the end, Chase U picking up the dub with like a little help from Ridge Holland, which I thought was interesting. And we get to see a backstage segment we see the first meetup, I think, since they broke up, of Ridge Holland and Pete Dunne, which I thought was very interesting and cool.
Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, we talked about it before. They have a lot of potential.
Yeah.
And they're really talented stars.
Yeah. They end up getting challenged for this upcoming NXT by Hank and Tank.
Hank and Tank.
I like them.
I like it. I like the
Tank.
rhyming.
Yes.
And it definitely fits their characters.
Chase U picks up the W, so they go on to NXT Heatwave to take on Nathan Fraser and Axiom,
which
for the tag titles.
Do you want to point out there's little
tension.
Little tension in there.
Gallows and Anderson backstage end up taking out OTM.
Yep.
Then we get Ethan Page and Shawn Spears throughout the night are both making their cases that they belong in the NXT title match.
Which they didn't win the match.
But Ethan Page was never eliminated from the Battle Royal, technically.
Yeah.
And then we see later on, and we'll get to it, Shawn Spears does end up earning his way in.
Yeah.
And then but we get another match, Wesley, Joe Coffey from Gallus. Wesley picking up the W. Then we just get a face-off between him and Obafemi.
Yeah.
That match
Wesley,
for the North American Championship coming up soon.
I can see him moving up to the main roster as soon as the next draft happens.
I can see it. Heritage Cup match. Probably, my opinion, match of the night. Tony D'Angelo versus Nathan Fraser. Tony D'Angelo picks up the W. In the last round, I think it was round 6, because I think there's 6 rounds.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 falls. He wins 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
Nathan Fraser almost had him. There were times where he ran out of time in a round.
Yeah.
Could have won it. This was easily, for me, match of the night. These guys were going back and forth, and they were just killing it.
I like this MMA style match with like the rounds and stuff, and I like those matches.
I wish they would add like the Heritage Cup in 2K or something.
That'd be sick.
That'd be cool to have.
I was hoping they did that this year because
they added. Was it in this game or it might have been the last game? They had it in like the My Career mode.
Yeah, they had it in this game. I'm pretty sure
it wasn't like you can't like do it in like the normal universe or play mode or whatever.
You can't actually like earn it.
But. Roxanne Perez takes on Carmen Petrovic in a winning effort. Is then laid out by Lola Vice.
Lola has some business.
And it's made official. We're getting Lola Vice and Roxanne Perez at NXT Heatwave. That match could go either way because Lola Vice is being hyped up.
Those hype matches that we watched in our match reviews of Sasha Banks and Bayley. This match could live up to that hype.
Got the potential?
This match could live up to that.
The next is Damon Kemps versus Tavion Heights. Heights defeats Kemp by pinfall to earn a place in No Quarter Catch Crew. So now they're back to four people.
Back to 4 members. Drew Gulak is out of there.
Number 1 contender for the Women's North American Championship, Sol Ruka versus Ariana Grace. Ruka picking up the W.
Yep.
It's looking like that match, I would assume, is going at Heatwave.
Yeah.
Banger match. And then Trick Williams versus Shawn Spears in the main event. We don't see his face, but we see Brooks Jensen get involved. We've been seeing him a lot.
Yeah.
Like in the crowd, trying to get involved with the announcers.
Yeah,
not really sure quite where they're going with it. Anyways, it ends up costing Trick Williams the match. Shawn Spears pins the NXT champion. So General Manager Ava Raine has no choice.
He has no choice. He has to put him in there. If you pin the champion, you're
Heatwave. It's Trick Williams defending the NXT Championship against Javon Evans, Ethan Page, and Shawn Spears in a fatal 4-way. I'm glad Shawn Spears is finally getting some main event stuff.
I'm ready. I was looking forward to it. You know?
Shawn Spears, since he's been back, I very much enjoyed. So a notable absence we didn't see this episode of NXT, Lexis King was not on NXT this week.
That's right.
Who knows?
Maybe we're going to see him in some TNA stuff. I can see it.
They could see that. Tatum Paxley was on TNA the other night.
Yeah.
Could be.
I want to see like the bigger superstars in TNA.
See like Moose, he's on there. Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth is there.
I want to see like Raw and SmackDown superstars down there. You know, like the main roster guys.
Mm-hmm.
We could see it.
It's possible. Because there's a lot of former WWE guys in TNA right now.
Yeah, Survivor Series.
I'm saying it. If you don't do like some like Bloodline Civil War, which is like maybe what I possibly could want the most, the next best thing would be cool. Would be like a WWE versus TNA.
Yeah.
War Games match.
We'll see.
But
that
brings us to the end of the show reviews. What do you think this week so far as a whole?
So far, it really depends on SmackDown, but so far it's a pretty.
Hearing
solid
some
show.
rumors about maybe some returns.
Yeah,
possibly Jimmy Uso,
which is hype.
Do you see Jimmy Uso coming back as a babyface since he got turned on by the Bloodline?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see like how Jimmy's gonna bounce back up, like who he's gonna have on his side.
Yeah, if he comes back and he's able to pull this babyface run off, because at first I think they need to start him off maybe by himself.
Yeah. So we know that he is good by himself.
See, the thing is, if he can pull it off by himself to begin with, I don't think he'll be enough to defeat like Solo and the Bloodline right now. But I think that could push him to more main event status, close to what his brother Jay is at.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Jay is I think eventually gonna get involved in the storyline, but I don't think it's gonna be until
soon. I don't think
he's gonna be the one that'll save them.
Yeah.
He's not gonna be the one that needs to be saved by Jimmy. Jimmy's gonna need to be saved by Jay. If that makes sense.
I could see that happening.
Yeah.
I feel like
and then you see Roman. Roman's coming back.
Yeah, we definitely got to carry on this entire thing for a while before we see Jay getting involved.
Yeah.
And Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see.
We'll see.
So that brings us to the top 10 list.
Top 10 list for this week was my week to pick.
It was your week.
You mentioned earlier that we were going to come back to some more NXT stuff. I decided let's go top 10 favorite NXT champions of all time.
That's right. Let me find my list. I don't know why.
Get that list up, baby.
I gotta get
that list.
Here we go. Number 10.
Number 10.
Believe.
3, 2, 1.
Believe and Bo Dallas.
I got Neville.
Neville was great.
He's one of the early NXT champions.
He's definitely.
I'm gonna get it wrong, but it may have been Bo Dallas and then Neville.
Yeah.
Or maybe I think it was Bo Dallas had it, and then Neville beat Bo Dallas to become NXT champion.
Yeah.
Definitely one of the best of the early days of NXT.
All right, number 9.
3, 2, 1.
Johnny Gargano.
I got Bo Dallas for my number 9. You just mentioned him. Johnny Gargano, one of the pillars of
NXT.
The golden age of NXT, in my opinion.
Definitely, yeah. We've seen so many NXT matches with him already.
Mm-hmm. His rivalry with Tommaso Ciampa is
gotta be
almost unmatched.
Top 3
rivalries of NXT history.
Yeah. And to see them in a tag team now.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I putting that?
Why are you putting that?
I'm tired, man.
I'm tired, man. What can I say? It's
I'm probably
Friday.
Not going to be tired after the punishment, which you people should definitely go to the videos
Go
to
to
watch.
YouTube and watch. 3, 2,
1.
1. Number 8, I got Kevin Owens.
Bobby Roode, the glorious.
The glorious one, Bobby Roode.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens, I mean...
What else can you say?
What else can you say?
He defeated John Cena.
He came in to the main roster as NXT champion, made his presence well known. He was taking out Sami Zayn on NXT.
Yeah.
Taking the title from him. And then who'd you have? Bobby Roode.
Bobby Roode.
His promos as NXT champion was,
I feel like,
some of his best work.
He had so much potential for the main roster. But I feel like
I've never understood why he's main event potential. I remember watching him in TNA.
Yeah.
And he was so good.
They really missed out on a huge.
Yeah, and I can see your next one. This is another huge missed opportunity. 3, 2, 1. Number 7.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Karrion Kross.
They were pushing Shinsuke up to the sky, and
Shinsuke should have beat. I will always say this: he should have beat AJ Styles at WrestleMania.
He should have
to become WWE champion
Definitely.
when he won the Royal Rumble. Karrion Kross, his best work was, I think, at this moment, has been in NXT as champion.
Yeah.
I think he's very underrated for how good of an NXT champion he was.
I thought he was going to be something huge today in wrestling, but whenever I watched him in NXT,
he's got the potential.
He definitely has it, with like his big group going on. But
I think putting him with Authors of Pain was a great idea.
It was a great idea, yeah.
You saw his match at WrestleMania. I think very much surprised people on how well it was.
Yeah, definitely.
3, 2, 1.
Kevin Owens.
Braun Breaker.
Man, I love Braun Breaker.
He's just dominant, dude. Braun Breaker is just absolutely dominant as NXT champion.
It's more of like he's more of a Brock Lesnar to me.
Yeah, dude. He's just
it's not his personality I love. Well, I mean, I do love his personality, but the main reason about him is because his genetics and how...
Dude, he's insane.
How insanely talented he is.
I forget what they say, how fast he is going off the ropes.
Yeah.
But it's, like, insane.
And you wouldn't expect that from a huge guy like
Big
him.
like that. He can move, dude.
3, 2, 1. Number 5 is Tommaso Ciampa.
Samoa Joe.
Big impact. Another missed opportunity there.
Is he the only, from my understanding, he's the only 3-time NXT champion.
Which, come on, man. We missed a huge opportunity.
Yeah, Samoa Joe, and, he went on to AEW. He became AEW World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah.
Who did you have? Who was yours?
I had Tommaso Ciampa.
Tommaso Ciampa.
Another great rivalry.
Yeah, it's hard to beat people like Tommaso Ciampa. With his run was insane.
Yeah.
The way he carried that NXT title, it made it feel special.
Definitely.
Number 4. 3, 2, 1.
Samoa Joe.
Bobby Roode. Again, Bobby Roode as NXT champion, I think was his best stuff.
I feel like as soon as we saw the
WWE.
switch to Robert Roode is when it went downhill.
Samoa Joe, again, dominant.
We could have seen these two today in WWE if they just made the right decisions. Samoa Joe, absolutely insane.
And there's so many on this. Half of the people on my list, probably, or close to half, are either people that aren't or not in WWE anymore,
but are in AEW.
AEW, and they just could have 100% could have gotten a main event push.
Yeah.
And then probably the other half are still people that still could use more of a push. Kevin Owens, love to see him in a main event spot again. Who else? Karrion Kross, I would like to see in. Bo Dallas, now we got Uncle Howdy.
Well, I'm sure we'll see him in the main event. Number 3, we got... Okay. Oh, I see. 3, 2, 1. Finn Balor.
Tommaso Ciampa. Again, brings me back. Both of these guys deserves a main event push.
Of course.
Finn Balor, why he's only a one-time Universal Champion, and that was like, what, almost 10 years ago? 8 years ago?
He was the first ever Universal
Was that
Champion.
back in 2016?
Yeah, against Seth Rollins. This dude beat Seth Rollins for the championship.
That's the same as Kevin Owens.
And after that, they just...
Nothing.
Now they're in like a Intercontinental Champion
and
or
he's killing
United
it.
States Champion.
He's killing it. In the last year, Finn Balor has won the tag titles 3 times.
Yeah, you told me that earlier, and it just shows how great he is.
Yeah.
And we can definitely see more of him later when his time comes.
My marker is running out.
But, with...
Who did you have? Or I had Tommaso Ciampa.
Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah. His rivalry with Johnny Gargano is one of the best rivalries of NXT history.
Yeah. Number 2.
Number 2, 3, 2, 1.
The first ever.
Finn Balor. I got Finn Balor. You have the first ever NXT champion.
First ever NXT champion, Seth Rollins.
Seth freaking Rollins. This is before he was Seth freaking Rollins.
Before he was the architect.
Before he was architect. Before he was the Kingslayer.
Yeah.
Before he was Seth freaking Rollins.
Before he was even in the Shield.
Yeah.
Which really made his name out there.
Yeah. But he started it all with the NXT Championship.
He started everything.
I had Finn Balor. Again, we just hit on it.
Yeah.
Number 1, we had the same ones. I'll tell you now. And I feel like everybody else will agree.
3, 2, 1.
Adam Cole, baby. is the greatest NXT champion of all time.
The biggest group of all time with him.
Undisputed era.
Yeah. It's just...
What? It's Adam Cole, baby. What can you say?
Not Triple H. Mr. McMahon had a big loss.
I know. It was... Triple H was who was what was putting them in these spots, these main event spots in NXT. I love Adam Cole. He's so talented.
If Triple H took control like 3 years ago instead of where he did get it, we'd see a completely different.
Because from the way he was sounding like, I've heard and read things about Adam Cole was going to be a manager if he was called up to the main event or the main roster. He was like going to be a manager for Keith Lee. It's like, why are you putting it? This is Adam Cole, baby. Main event, Adam Cole.
I feel like we had a little bit of a Sleepy Joe running WWE at the time. But
it's possible. Maybe that's what it feels like.
Mr. McMahon I'm so glad he's gone.
Yeah, and the whole Undisputed Era, you had Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong.
Which we don't have any of them anymore.
None of them are in WWE anymore.
And speaking,
sorry, I keep interrupting, but the NXT of that time, try and think about who all those main event guys during then, who is still with us. About half of them are gone.
Yeah.
You got Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano,
Keith Lee.
Karrion Kross is there. It's still in WWE.
Yeah.
But you lost the Undisputed Era. You lost Keith Lee.
Samoa Joe.
You
lost Bobby Roode.
Well, I think technically Bobby Roode is still with WWE.
But he's not doing anything.
He's just a producer. He's pretty much retired.
Yeah. Which is big letdown.
Big disappointment. But then you got some of your honorable mentions. You got Drew McIntyre. Was an NXT champion. We didn't even have Keith Lee on the list. He's the one that beat Adam Cole for the NXT championship.
We got Carmelo Hayes.
Trick Williams, Ilya Dragunov.
Dragunov, I feel like he's in my number 11, to be honest with you. He was amazing.
It's hard to beat some of these guys.
Yeah.
But I think that was a good top 10 list. You got the next episode for next week. We had our 3 matches for this past week to watch. So we had John Cena and Bray Wyatt from WrestleMania 30, Undertaker, Brock Lesnar from WrestleMania 30, and then Drew McIntyre, Brock Lesnar, WrestleMania 36.
Which, the reason I picked that match is because I feel like it just really is relevant today because of what's going on with Drew McIntyre and just how he has been cheated and stuff and why he is the way he is.
You've heard my opinions on how I feel about Drew McIntyre getting cheated.
Do you want to go and start that match?
You want to work backwards? Why not? WrestleMania 36, pandemic era, 2020.
Yeah.
No fans. Looks like a warehouse. It's Drew McIntyre, Brock Lesnar, main event for the WWE Championship.
I want to point out, I get where Drew's coming from now because that match was lifeless. It really was.
The thing that the pandemic brought out was you realize just how much the fans play a part in these shows.
Yeah.
The crowd noise, the energy. If there's nothing, you're not in it.
And you could tell, too, just because
the wrestlers weren't in it.
How quick that match was, too. Mm-hmm. There was no, crazy things that happened.
No, it was more just
there's no stunts.
It was more just a crowning for Drew McIntyre. Yeah. Just to crown him champion. Just a formality almost.
Drew McIntyre hits the kick as the...
He hits the Claymore kick multiple times.
Claymore right at the beginning. We see an F5 kick out. Claymore kick out.
It was just finishers.
It was basically finishers. And
kicked out until you got the pin.
Until Drew did it 3 times in a row and won the match. Which... I understand where he's coming from now.
Yeah.
Main event of WrestleMania was almost as if it was a main event of NXT. And not NXT. NXT was better. Main event of... Not even a main event. A middle card match
of a backyard wrestling show.
Yeah.
At your neighbor's house.
Exactly.
That's how it felt. It's where I felt it belonged at times. The pandemic era was a rough time.
It was really rough.
It was a rough time. If you go back and watch a lot of those pay-per-views and shows, it was rough.
It's relevant because
with what's going on right now
today.
He's being treated horribly.
And also, just want to point out, Brock Lesnar should not have been disrespected like that.
Nah.
We've seen him disrespected like that as well with Goldberg. You know, like, this is the man that beat the streak.
He beat the streak.
And he's losing matches like this quickly. Like, no.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that was a really big letdown match.
Yeah.
But it was needed.
Yeah. That brings us to our next match. Beat the streak match.
Beat the streak
Brock
match.
Lesnar, Undertaker, WrestleMania 30.
The crowd was so, like, shocked.
Shocked, dude.
Everyone was.
You see the dude with the wide eyes?
Yeah. We saw him. We get to see the
guy going like...
Yeah. We get to see all these people just phased.
Mm-hmm.
We get to see, like, both the Undertaker and Brock Lesnar.
Let me ask you this question. Should it have been Brock Lesnar to beat The Undertaker?
I don't believe so. I think it should have been...
He didn't need it.
Yeah.
He didn't need it. It should have been Roman Reigns. When Roman did beat him, it did a lot for Roman when Roman did beat him.
But it would be even more.
If he would have been but he wasn't the first one to beat him. Imagine if he was the first one to beat The Undertaker.
You know, Roman Reigns has such a big impact. He's now considered one of the greatest of all time. Now it would be even higher if he did beat the streak. Mm-hmm. But he didn't.
It was Brock Lesnar.
Should not have been.
From my understanding, originally Undertaker was supposed to win. Obviously, plans changed.
Plans definitely changed.
Undertaker did not look good in that match, I'll be honest.
Yeah, he did not look very...
From my understanding, I'm pretty sure he was...
Himself.
I think he might have been concussed pretty early in the match or something.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Rough match. This is a week of rough matches.
Yeah.
Besides from the first one. The first one's all right.
Yeah. But Brock Lesnar, he hit 3 F5s, beat The Undertaker. The crowd just in shock. Paul Heyman's in shock.
Paul Heyman was like, "You did it.
You did it."
We didn't see Brock Lesnar's music play for a while.
Even the sound people were shocked. They didn't know what to do.
There's a thumbs up on there. But, yeah, it
was all right.
I feel like it was very much... I really liked that the music didn't play right away.
It
showed more shock.
That was smart. Whoever decision that was. At the end of the day, I don't think Brock needed it.
No.
He didn't need it.
This is an episode of bad companies' decisions.
Bad decisions.
Besides from the first match. First match
was all right.
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt versus John Cena.
Big connection to Bray Wyatt and John Cena during the COVID era.
We see this is when Bray Wyatt hadn't even been on the main roster for a year yet.
Yep.
He had made such an impact already.
His main goal this match was to show the crowd who John Cena really was.
Bring out the darkness inside of him.
Yeah. But we do get to see that John Cena brings it out a little bit in the match. He spears Luke Harper through the barricades. We get to see
He tries to get him to hit him with a chair.
Yeah. Says, "Finish me,
He doesn't
John."
do it, though.
He doesn't do it. He hits Eric Rowan instead and wins the match.
But you can't watch this match without now thinking about the Firefly Funhouse match. Because in that match, he gives him a second chance to hit him with the chair. And this time, John Cena takes it.
And that's
what cost him the match. It's very good storytelling, long term.
Yeah, that match was... It was good. I loved it. It was... Definitely showed the 3-on-1 part of it. It showed it definitely pushed Bray Wyatt to where he would be today.
Some people felt like it may have slowed his momentum down a little bit.
But
some people felt Bray Wyatt should have won.
I think it should have won.
At the time, if you go back and look at Bray Wyatt for the last a little while after, it didn't necessarily help him losing at Mania.
Yeah.
Obviously his best work, I feel like, was like with The Fiend and stuff like that. He was unstoppable.
I feel like as soon as he won his first championship in that Randy Orton rivalry is what...
Yeah, he won it at the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, he pinned AJ Styles.
Yeah,
Randy Orton gets the title
I think he took the title from John Cena.
Yeah.
Who was the champion at the time.
AJ Styles, he loses to him. Randy Orton beats...
Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania.
And then we see the whole crap thing between Jinder Mahal and Randy Orton, which...
Biggest upset in maybe wrestling history. Jinder Mahal, WWE champion.
We should just remove from the history books, to be honest.
You didn't like that?
That whole stuff going on was horrible.
Oh. Maybe we'll cover that match sometime.
The match where he wins?
Where Jinder Mahal wins.
The first one. We get so many matches between the two as well. It's like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
And Randy lost like every time.
All of them. Overall, what do you think about all the matches?
Mid. But still plays a role.
But are relevant.
Mid, but relevant. Is that what the title of this video is going to be?
That's maybe what the theme of this episode is. Mid, but relevant. All right, so next 3 matches. We got Money in the Bank coming up.
These will not be mid. I'm calling it
right now. We got Money in the Bank coming up.
Yeah.
So I thought, let's get some Money in the Bank ladder matches. Let's do some of the best ones. So we're going to go Money in the Bank match from WrestleMania 21, the first ever Money in the Bank ladder match. Money in the Bank match from WrestleMania 23.
Okay.
And then we're getting Money in the Bank match, the men's, from Money in the Bank 2014. This was the year Seth Rollins won it.
Big.
And we saw what he did with that.
Yeah.
So that's the homework for this next week. 3 great Money in the Bank ladder matches to get you psyched up for Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I am all for it. Is Money in the Bank not this Saturday?
Not this Saturday, but the next Saturday.
Next week we'll be making our predictions, I'd say then.
Oh, we probably should have done that today.
Yeah.
You want to do it real quick?
Or do you want to just do it Friday?
Yeah, we can do it Friday. No, let's do it now.
Okay. All right. We don't even know who's going to be in the ladder match.
Yep, make your predictions now. You better be confident.
I can't remember who's in the match.
Or do you want to wait till next week?
I say we wait until next week.
All right.
So we get
we're gonna be
picture.
late. We're gonna be late though. We'll have to record it Friday, and maybe I can get it out Saturday.
Do you want to record Thursday?
Maybe and put it out Friday.
Because I'm off of work Thursday. If that works for you.
It'd be July 4th.
Yeah.
You can do it Thursday. All right, we'll do it Thursday. All right. Deal.
Let me check my stuff.
Deal.
We can do it Wednesday.
We'll do it next week. Let's just put it that way.
Next week at some point. We usually figure out the day before.
That brings us to the end of the episode. For the audio listeners, video listeners.
That's the end of it for you guys.
Yeah. So, Caysen, say goodbye to the audio listeners.
1 second, y'all. All right, this is Magic Tyler, Caysen Smith, and we are out. All right, here we go.
Right.
We're about to get the main event on for you guys.
Main event of the episode.
Yeah.
Punishment for Clash at the Castle. We tied.
Which we tied for. We are going to film this outside, right?
Outside. We're going to go outside. We got some whipped cream. We got some pans. Going to load them up.
Yep. I wore my bad shirt today.
Yeah, I wrote Cody Rhodes shirt. It's fine. I'll put on something else later.
Yeah, I have a Dallas Cowboys shirt on that's like
you can't even see the star. I don't even know if the episode can see the star.
But the reason I still have it is because that's the real reason I have this shirt.
Oh, Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb.
I don't even like Dallas. I just like CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah. All right.
We'll see you out there. Hey! What's up?
It's Caysen. It's Magic Tyler. Punishments for our wrestling predictions that we tied on.
Filmed by my own mother.
Filmed by.
Shout out to my mom. Shout out.
Before this all melts,
we used the entire can.
Entire can of whipped cream.
And we are ready.
Ready. All right.
3, 2,
1.
Your tastes really good.
Get the views up. Get the views and likes up.
Tell your friends. Just show them this part if you want to.